Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode number 7 of our Kingdom Come Deliverance gameplay series. I'm Commander Jarval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, nothing new on admin notes. So, on our recap last week, we had jumped into the main quest line again, and we had basically become a private investigator for Radzig and Hanish to find out what happened with a massacre that took place at the stables in Neuhof. We had jumped into that quest. We had done a little bit of investigation through a couple of those quests, and then to end the live stream, we had done a little side quest to up our unarmed skill a little bit. Today we're going to jump back into 2 more quests on this quest line. Mysterious Ways and On the Scent. Now, Mysterious Ways, there's a way to get an achievement out of it. Getting that achievement will also keep you from getting another achievement. But the reason I mention, and we're going to talk more about that, but the reason that I'm mentioning it here is because I have spent all week trying to different methods from forums and videos and online things like that to get Unreal Engine here to play sound while this game's in the background when the window is not the current window that's active, and I have not been able to do it. There's a cutscene in here in the way that we're going to do it that I'm going to have to turn off the video for because there's no stream safe version of it here in this game. And when that happens, the audio is going to cut out as well as the video. I had a whole method where I was going to set a blur filter so that it would just blur it out and the audio would keep playing. But as soon as I click out and go into OBS to turn that blur on, the video cuts out. Or the audio cuts out. So there's no real way for me to get it to work optimally right now. So I'll warn you when we get to it. And like I say, the sound and the video is going to cut out there for a little bit while I'm working on it. So not a whole lot I can do about it. But it is kind of what it is because I don't want to get things demonetized here while we go. So for now, let's jump back in here and we'll take stock of where we are. Actually, I want to do one more thing because I can do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in here. And like I say, we'll take stock of where we are and what we're going to go do this morning. So here we are back at our home. Off stream, I have dropped everything off back in our chest. We've picked up some more Savior Schnapps. And we are ready to continue on with this. And we look at our quest journal. You can see Mysterious Ways is our current quest. Find the Neuhof bandit in Uschitz. So let's go ahead and head up to Uschitz. And remember, Uschitz is all the way up here. We'll have to go through at least 3 ambush points, and we failed the first one here. They have a dog. can be a problem. Looks like we got away, though. Yep. Should be one more here in these woods. Okay, so we got lucky and we didn't get it.
These onions will make you weep like a baby. But oh,
Okay, so we need to find out where the bandit lives, and a good place to always start when you pop into any town is at the tavern.
Good afternoon.
And we'll ask about the fellow with the limp.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
That'll be Lubosh. Gallows bait if I ever saw one. His place is at the end of the village next to the stream. Take him and welcome.
Okay, so now we know where he lives, and that quest marker will have updated.
Yeah.
So we'll head over here. And this is not looking good.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
If that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Okay, well, somebody's tried to dead-end us here.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Okay, so now we can take a look around and find out more about Limpy Lubosh. So we'll venture in here, close this door behind us just to keep the gawking public from seeing, but there's also a couple other things that we're going to do in here. So you can look around in these various rooms. There's nothing really in here to look at. I will look at my food. I'm fine on nourishment. You can eat from the pot there. There is a chest here that we can lockpick. Just to get our skill up a little bit. But there's nothing in here that we need to take. Okay, so 2 things in here, and that means trader, by the way. So a couple of things that we want to look at here, hidden kind of in the hay, is a tarred jacket.
Armour? Well, it seems Lubosh wasn't your everyday crofter. And judging by the bloodstains, it looks like he lived the way he died.
And then around here behind the wood pile is a sword.
A sword? What the hell does an Ujit's crofter need a weapon for? And where did he get it?
Okay, so now if we head back outside, we can talk to the bailiff again.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Another thing about Lubosh.
Now we're going to gain a couple of extra dialogue options.
I found a sword hidden at his place.
A sword? Hell, it looks like you were right. What would the likes of him want a sword for except some devilry?
I found armor in his house, covered in blood.
God preserve us. Everyone knows he was a violent oaf, but I never thought he'd stoop to murder. At least he never did that here. Good luck to you.
Okay, so now if we look, we can talk to any other people here, and they've kind of all left. So we'll head back into town.
Yeah,
Who did they catch?
yeah.
Well, it'll be tidy for a little.
And again, we can talk to people up here.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
You could see at first glance he was no good. I kept well out of his way.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest. I never saw him do that before. Probably had a bad conscience.
So we'll just continue on and get some more speech XP here.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
Okay, so we did
That's all.
pick up a clue there. We need to go talk to
Good
the
luck,
priest.
then.
And the priest is at the church up there. You can actually see him right there. Now, this quest can diverge here when you talk to the priest. There's a conversation, and you're going to get an option to convince him to give you the information that you're looking for. It's pretty easy to convince him. At this point, I think he's got a speech skill of 7. You can see we've got 9. He has a charisma of 4 or 5, I think, and we've got 9, so it's pretty easy to convince him to give you the information. However, you're going to miss out on an achievement if you do that. So, and like I say, this achievement, the sinner achievement, is going to require you to bed one of the alehouse women. And that means you're going to miss out on the virgin achievement that is in the game. So if you want to get them both, then I would recommend that you drop a save here at this point before the conversation. And then you can not convince him to give you the information, which will lead you down a path of drinking with him, and you'll get the sinner achievement. Then you can quit out of it and reload your save and go and convince him and go down that road. But let's go up here and talk with him. Now, he's a little hard to talk to because while he's doing his sword practice, there's no talk with him option. So if you walk up to him and press against him, you can talk. It'll interrupt his action there, and you'll be able to talk to him.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Here's the way to convince him. So you can see down there at the bottom, actually his stats are increased a little bit now. But we can convince him either way. I'm going to try not to convince him. But actually, it looks like I'm going to convince him either way because normally his intimidation or his strength is not that high. Or is not that low. It's normally 13. So I'm going to convince him no matter what I do. Well, I guess that saves us from having to do something. But it's not nearly as entertaining. So let me see if this is going to work. See if this convinces him or not.
I've got no time for this. You might be happy to put people's lives at risk, but I refuse to, and I'll get that confession out of you by force if I have to.
You're threatening me.
Okay, there it is.
You want to fight me? Well, I never.
It
Why
failed.
not? Let's have at it.
Okay, if you pick that option, it's almost guaranteed to fail. So I think the number's actually 13. I don't think it's actually 10, which was showing down there. So if you at this point say I got carried away, then you don't have to fight him and you don't lose any reputation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think it's a very good idea. I got a bit carried away, Father.
I understand how keen you are. I'd truly like to help, but that really isn't the way. Let's start again and try another approach, eh?
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
God be with you.
And welcome, Rudi. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Was in the middle of going through these cutscenes here and didn't want to get things interrupted. So now, if we look at our quest journal, we can see that we need to meet the parish priest in the tavern in the evening, and that is at 1900. Okay, and here he is. He's coming down here. And we're going to drop a save here. He's going to go in and take a seat, and somebody's actually going to join him. And if you want to talk to him, you need to sit down with him. And now you can talk to him.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
And these are all timed. I'd recommend that you tell him about Skalitz.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
This is all raising his trust level with you, which you need to be able to convince him to help you later.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna.
I'd like a beer.
Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanush to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword.
I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
I'll have a beer.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Okay, so you can pick up some speech XP here.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
And that's him. That's his concubine sitting next to him.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe?
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
I'll have a beer.
And here is where you can make a choice on whether to get the achievement or not. If you stay and drink with him, then it's going to lead you down a path to helping him out to get the information you need and get the achievement, and also lose the Virgin achievement. If you go down this way, then there is another way to complete this by taking a book and going to a scribe to transcribe it and that sort of stuff. But we're going to go down this way. It's one of the more entertaining sets of things I've ever seen in a video game. But like I say, once we get to a section with a bell tower in it, I'm going to have to blur out the screen. And when I do that, the audio is going to cut out because it's an Unreal Engine game and the audio is not playing when it's in the background. So I'll let you know when we get to that point.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesięć smutek, do mnie loi rano utek, niech ich może zimaj sad, do wczera żylne staje prach. Už se jí bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Budem se máky, panorama slávy a pak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh, come on. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Now, there are two ways to do this. You can just run away from this fight and the cutscene will continue, or you can up your unarmed skill, but during this fight, you need to be careful because there are civilians around here, and if you hit one of the civilians, this thing will fail.
I'll slaughter you. Yeah, cry. Shit.
So you want to be careful.
That's the best you can do.
Thou shalt not hurt thy neighbor, fucker.
Okay, he's out.
You'll pay for that.
So, my dear.
Okay, so once we get into this cutscene, I'm going to have to Alt-Tab out.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Okay, so I'm going to Alt-Tab out here. And we're going to blur this, but I'll describe what's happening. They're ringing the bell late at night here. We're puking over the outside. We're being criticized by everyone. And then it's just us and the two tavern women in the tower, and yes, things are going to take a turn. And yes, this is why you're going to lose the Virgin achievement. But you're also going to gain the Sinner achievement. You can obviously see why. And now we're so drunk we're following sheep around.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
It is one of the better cutscenes I've seen in a video game.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishops can have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it if you stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Okay, so things have obviously changed when it's his skin on the line.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
So we are currently in our underwear, so we can put our clothes back on. You don't have to. You can teach in your underwear if you'd like. I'm going to put those on to up my charisma. Because I am drunk, so you can see my numbers in red down there. Okay, but they should be high enough for me to do what I need here. I could take the Warhorse set out of my saddlebags and put it on and increase those charisma numbers even more, but this should be enough for us to get it through. I think the villager stats are like 2 speech and 3 charisma, something like that, so we should be fine. Yeah, I'm definitely hungover.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pole.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
I'm looking pretty proud of myself there.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching.
I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious.
And what you're trying to do here is just what he told you last night. You're trying to be engaging. You want to talk about sin. So I'm going to begin confidently.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, enemies, injustice, hunger and chaos, failed harvests, fires, floods and other catastrophes. And it is all due to the corrupt servants of God who do not practice what they preach. They think sins can be washed away by money, and they sell indulgences, and that's bad, because sins cannot be redeemed with silver.
Prague didn't do much for his confidence.
I normally don't fail that.
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
And here you want to stand up for Godwin.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honour to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Well, let's see if that one failure keeps this from going or not. We'll see.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that Hus.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
It looks like it worked.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you.
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhoff.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Reeky from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Reeky from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
So you could skip all that by convincing him at the very, very start, but, I mean, who wants to miss all of that? So we're going to get a save game there, and when we look at our options here, or our quest log here, we can now see that we're on the scent quest has started, and we need to track down Reeky. Now this quest is timed. Okay, so we want to immediately head out toward Ledechko, where we're going to try and track down Reeky. But we want to kind of go about this, because here's Ledechko down here. We can't fast travel all the way down to Ledechko, but we don't have to. We can fast travel back to the Rattay mill. But before I do that, I want to look at my time. So, yeah, I think we still make it down there in time. Okay. So, well, we also need to get our horse. That was almost a big mistake. There it is. Okay, and now let's fast travel down there.
Assassin,
Yeah.
The old woman said a fucking assassin on me.
Okay, so this isn't so bad where we are. That point there actually puts us pretty close to Ledechko. Oh no, come on. Horses. So we can cross here and make our way cross country here a little bit. At least, oh geez, horses. because we want to get to Ledechko by 1800. Okay, so we'll just ride our way over there. And there's Ledechko down there. Okay, now where we want to get to is to the tavern. What time is it? We got plenty of time. Good. And we're actually going to be coming back here in a little bit too to talk to him. But not right this second. Okay, so here's the tavern. And there's a couple of people sitting here at this table. They're labeled bandits. I'm going to check my inventory. I do have a dagger in my inventory. And I do have the stealth kill perk, which is going to be very useful for us here during this evening on how I'm going to play this out, because I'm going to avoid the timed aspect of this.
Here you are, and good health. Here, enjoy it.
The best of health.
And I'm going to talk to Mutt.
Back to the mill. Just don't get it. What don't you get? Why do we have to sniff around for some stinking tanner? Can't we just leave him be?
Don't be such a knucklehead. Of course we can't leave him be. Runt would slit your throat if he heard you.
But he's just some cowardly peasant. What can he do to us?
You really can't get it into your thick skull, can you? It's about our fucking reputation.
How can it help our reputation? Folk already shit themselves when they see us.
God-fearing folk, maybe. But in this trade, even your own people have to be afraid of you. Otherwise, they might get the idea they can do without you. Get it?
All right. But that fellow ain't one of us, though.
You moron. That's just why we have to get him, right? So no one else tries it on.
It's all the same to me. I'll skewer him anyway. Just I can't be bothered looking for him.
Well, while we're at it, did you ask about him at the village?
Aye. Nobody knows where he is. Seems he's always wandering off somewhere.
We'll wait and see what the chief says then.
Okay, so these bandits are obviously talking about Reeky. They're looking for him too. And I'm going to take off the necklace and the silver ring. That's going to lower my conspicuousness. I'm at 0 noise, 21 visibility, 22 conspicuousness, and that's what I want for this evening. And now I'm going to wait until 1800.
Can't leave him be. Runt would slit your throat if he heard you.
But he's just some
Okay, I'm gonna go in here and hit up the pot. My nutrition's getting a little low. And at 1800, these two are going to leave.
God-fearing folk, maybe.
And we're going to follow them.
But in this trade, even your own people have to be afraid of you. Otherwise, they might...
And they're going to head out to the north, up there toward their camp. And there's a third bandit in their camp up there. And if we can deal with them in their camp, that's the best of all worlds. Now right here, if you fight them here, it's a crime. Okay, so you want to wait until they get back to their camp to deal with them. And because we have high stealth gear on, and we have the stealth kill perk, it's going to make it a little easier for us to deal with them. We might not be able to kill all three of them without waking up one of the others, but we're going to give it a shot and see how well it goes. And like I say, this will eliminate the timed aspect of this quest, and then we can talk to whoever we want, however long we want to. What will also happen is even if you beat the timer, which is 3 days, I think, even if you beat the timer, you will still have to fight these three, because they will show up while you're talking to Reeky. So this is a much easier way to kill them. And like I say, it avoids the whole timer aspect, so you can pause this quest if you want and just let Reeky stay in his hideout, and you can go do other things. We're not going to do it, we're going to complete it. But like I say, for now, we're just going to follow these guys out of here. And it will open up some various areas here, exploring Ledechko as well. But he's gonna go out here. They're gonna walk up here into the woods. And they're gonna head out that gate and head up the road. And you don't want Mutt along during this. He can give you away while you're doing this, so this is why I sent him back to camp, or back to the mill.
What in the...
So you don't have to follow them. You can pass time, and they will kind of teleport up there into the woods, and you can find their camp by the campfire. You have to wait until I think it's 2200 for them to all go to sleep. And you have to be careful because 2 of them will take their armor off and they'll go to sleep. 1 of them will stay up, and then he will lay down, but he'll keep his armor on. And then he'll wake up a little bit later, take his armor off, and then go to sleep. And then you can infiltrate the camp. If he's still got his armor on, he's not really asleep. He's just laying down, and he'll catch you when you walk into camp. But I'm just illustrating this as to, instead of skipping time, just so you can kind of see how this goes and where their camp is and how you can follow them to their camp. And if you do get seen while we're doing this, that's not the end of the world. We can pause the game by going into our inventory. We can put on, transfer, and put on our entire armor set, and then have the fight that way if we would like. And speaking of that, I'm going to take a marigold decoction to get my health back up after that fist fight we had. And you don't want to get too close to them because they will turn around and ask what you're doing, and then they'll follow you. And you don't want that to happen. And they walk really slow uphill. So, don't get too close to them. And like I said, that's why you don't get too close. You can see kind of their pathing is a little bit weird around the rocks, and they'll turn around, and if they see you when you're turned around, then again, they'll start following you. And you don't want that. They can even turn hostile once they're outside the city here. So I'm gonna, once they've crested the ridge here, I'm gonna go into sneak mode. And I'm gonna make my way into the forest. And there they are over there. Because once I'm in the forest, I'm gonna activate the Savage perk. And there's their camp. Right there. They don't tend to leave their camp. They're going to stay in it for the rest of the night. But they will kind of move around inside of it. And there's no safe way to get to their camp. There's a ridge at the back. There's a kind of shelter wall on this side, and there's one on the other side as well. So the only way to get there is straight up the middle, and you can really only do that when they're asleep. So I'm going to pass time now. And we should be getting real close to the time that they are going to all go to sleep. I'm going to kind of make my way around. You see they're still moving around. That's the one that sits out front.
No one to rob here.
And he's normally the last one to go to sleep. But we'll sit here and wait for him, and we'll watch him right there. And if he goes, there's a chest in here, and if he goes over to the chest and you see him take his armor off, then you know he's going to sleep. But I think the other two are probably already asleep. Or they're getting ready to, real quick. Like I say, you can't see through the shelter here. And the other bed is underneath that shelter over there. Got a bed there, a bed here in the middle, and a bed over here. So just be patient. I've got the chameleon perk. So I'm 30% harder to detect out here, and I'm not in the firelight, so you shouldn't see me no matter what happens. But since you approach from downhill, it's really hard to see if they're asleep or not. And because you can't, when you're crouched, you can't see high up over the hill into their camp. So by the time you get close enough to see if they're asleep or not, you're close enough for them to detect you. Otherwise, I'd just pass time until like midnight or something and know that they're all asleep. I want to make sure that they're all asleep here. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. Okay, so they're still moving around. See, he just took his clothes off. He went to the far bed. So that means this one's probably already asleep. He's normally the first one to go to sleep. This is he's the last one, and he's in the middle bed. There he goes. Okay. So I'm going to save here. I'm going to start making my way down here. Yep, he's asleep. You can see him. So we're going to start with this guy right here. Okay, he started to get up. Okay, so I got all three of them. Okay, now you can loot them for all of their stuff. There's not a whole lot here. Okay, but we'll take it all, and then there's a chest here. And this has all of their armor in it, and all of their weapons. Okay, so this is a good thing to take. You're going to be severely overloaded from it. But there is something that I want to look at while I'm here, and that is the black hoods. So this is the one I'm wearing. So this one here, there are different types of black hoods. If you look at my stats down here, this is the one I'm wearing. 21, 31, and 9 charisma. 21, 31, and 9 charisma. This one, 17, 29, and 10 charisma. This is the better version of the black hood. And this is the one that you want to be wearing. The other stuff we're going to transfer to our horse so that we don't have to carry it around. Now they also have a dark Celestian gambeson, but you can see that just ups my visibility over what I have, so it's not any better. They have a leather jerkin, which again doesn't improve anything. Then they have the padded black coifs. Now I have this one. This one is less, and that's just because the durability is worse. So other than that, looks like all the rest of this stuff we don't need. So we're going to go ahead and move a bunch of this to our horse. And we'll put the stolen arrows in there as well. So now that black hood is stolen, and we want to do something about that. I don't really care about the lockpicks. Those 5 being stolen, don't really care about those. But I don't want that black hood to get taken from me if somebody stops me while I'm in a town. So we are going to move out here, and we're going to, now again, the timed aspect of this quest is done. We don't need to worry about timing anymore, so we're going to call our horse. And we're going to go back to the Rattay mill. We're going to have to pass an ambush point. So we'll see if we get caught. We didn't. And we're now going to take all of this stuff and put it back in my inventory all the stolen stuff here. Okay, don't need any of this food, it's just going to go bad. I don't care if the bandages get taken. Oop, and the robber sword. And we're going to take all of those torches too. Okay. Overloaded, but we don't really care. Everybody's asleep. We're going to wait until the morning. Okay, and now let's head outside and talk to Miller Peshek. Because we want to remove, well, we want to sell all these items, but we also want to remove that stolen tag. And you can't talk to Mutt until she wakes up. There he is.
Greeting.
I've got some goods here.
All right.
Okay, so let's sell these off. Okay, now I'm actually going to sell this black hood here as well. And some of these stolen tags have disappeared, and that's just because we're far enough away from where we stole them that they no longer count, but they still have the stolen tag. And look how much money he's up to now. 26K. So this is really where you can start supercharging your gold by brewing potions and selling them right now. He has a lot of gold. Okay, so we're going to check the basket. We're going to haggle over this.
Let's talk about the price.
Agree?
A nice sum. All right, so.
And now we sold that black hood to him.
I've got some goods here.
All right. Take care.
So now we can buy it back. And again, we can see which one we're looking for. It's this one here. You can watch your stats over there at the right. And this is the one that we're looking for. So we're going to add it to the basket. We'll haggle for it back. And this is just because I've got a lot of money. So I don't really care about buying it back.
Is this enough?
Come. Finally, a reasonable sum.
But this black hood here is the best black hood in the game for stealth. Okay, so that's the reason that I went through all that, was to keep it. So I have the best hood. I have the best gambeson. I have There is a slightly better version of the padded black coif, but I've got the second best one right now. The decorated black hose are the only better version of these, and there's a dark silent shoes that I can get as well. So we can get Mutt back.
Greetings, Henry.
I'd like to take Mutt.
All right.
So where is he? There he is.
Here. Heel.
Okay, so now he's going to follow me. I'm going to bring him over here.
Wait here for me. Stay.
Okay, I am going to get a smoked sausage, because his obedience is down to 60. We'll do some training.
For you. You'll love. Good fella. That's my boy.
Okay. Now what's he up to? 73.
Look what I've got. You'll love.
And you'll see what little effect this has. He went up 13 points there.
Good fella. That's my boy.
Let's see. Doesn't do anything. So you need to do it every day, like I say, every morning, like we talked about last time. Because repeating things over and over will up your Houndmaster skill, but it won't up his obedience. So let's look at our skills and see what we upped here. So we got another point in drinking. So for we're skipping both of these. The drunk perk, the benefits of alcohol last twice as long, but you suffer no negative effects. But if you do get drunk, then once you sober, the hangover will last twice as long. This can be useful to when you take the drunk perk under lockpicking, so you don't have to drink as much while you're doing all of that. This will keep you drunk longer. When drunk, you get a +1 bonus to speech and charisma. When hungover, these stats drop by 1. Again, really useful. Before you go into a conversation, you can just swig a beer. You won't get as drunk because you won't get drunk because there's no negative effects if you combine it with this perk. And then True Slav, you get drunk on 50% less alcohol, and your hangover the next day lasts only half as long. But getting drunk quickly brings both the positive and negative effects of alcohol. Well, if you take True Slav in conjunction with drunk, it does not do that. So we're going to start here, and then our next perk point, we're going to take the drunk perk. Well, actually, you know, I'm probably not going to need these as much with my speech and charisma 9 and 10, so I'll start with the drunk perk this time. We did pick up another point in agility. So falling will cause you 30% less injury. I don't care about that. So these are the ones that I'm waiting for. Fast Striker and Light Armor at level 8. So we're going to hold on to that point. I think that's it. Yep. So now let's hop on a horse and we'll fast travel back up to Ledechko. Okay, so here in Ladeshko, if we look at our quest markers, it just says track down Reeky. And again, like I said previously, if you ever get into a new town and you're looking for somebody, start at the taverns.
I'm looking for a fellow called Reeky. Do you know him?
Reeky? You mean Hinnick, the courier's son?
Maybe. Do you know where I might find him?
He's not usually around here. Try asking at his home, but I hope you got a thick skin. The old courier ain't exactly charming.
And we'll just get some free XP here.
So you know this Hinnick. Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
No one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Reeky keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
What can you tell me about the old courier?
He's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Why do they call Hinnick Reeky anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you're ever downwind of him, you'll understand. Tanning isn't a trade for the weak of stomach.
True enough, but not every courier gets cursed with a name like that.
Well, Hinnick's nature's no sweeter than his smell.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his old man, he doesn't talk much to anyone. And then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Rattay for thieving, and in Neuhof he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies, and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits.
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
He's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called.
Okay, so we can end this dialogue.
I'll have a
and we can talk to the innkeeper as well. There it is.
My respects to you.
Okay, so not yet. Now we're going to go talk to... If you look at our quest markers, we have two optionals. Talk to Reeky's father and talk to the bathhouse wench. So we're going to go to B and talk to Reeky's father first. Okay, so B and C are both down here.
Yeah.
And here's the tannery. Now you're going to have to pass a check here. My speech and charisma should be high enough to be able to do this. And I'm not drunk, so that helps.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hinnick shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hinnick makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there, is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then. What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hinnick never told me nothing.
Bloody hell. Start using your head or I'll never find Hinnick. How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know?
Okay, so that's going to exhaust our dialogue options, and it should have opened up a new option here for us to talk to the innkeeper. And that's what I'm going to go do, but there is something else you can look at here. Oh, sidekicks. I'm going to grab the spade from my horse's inventory. Okay, so I don't learn about this yet. Can't remember if I learned about it from the innkeeper or from the tavern maid, but either way, we're going to head back and go talk to... I just did... That's crazy, did his obedience drop that much?
Yeah.
73 points? I think that's probably wrong, but... I'll go check and see later on. Let's go talk to the innkeeper, and again, you're going to have to convince the innkeeper here as well.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hinnick.
And ask someone else. They've nothing to do with Reeky. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinnick's. He's gone missing, and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
And here are your options. You can actually pay him 70 groschen to be able to do it. You can see his stats down there in the corner.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I just need to know where Reeky is. It's urgent.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's likely Reeky is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him, and it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
All right. But give me your word of honor you won't tell anyone about our deal.
You have my word.
Fine. So, what do you want to know?
I hear Hinnick has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
I happen to know it's a dark place, a cave or an old mine shaft.
How do you know that?
Whenever Reeky was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.
And do you know of any mine shafts nearby?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village, up in the woods above the cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close to the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft.
Okay, so now if we look at our quest marker, there are 3 new markers here for finding disused mine shafts and a cave. We're going to go talk to the bathhouse wench first. And she is just right down here behind us. And you'll have to convince her as well. And we're looking for Adela right here.
Good God. What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it.
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinek, so I came to ask you about him.
Aye, I've seen him often enough. I don't know what I could tell you about him.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
Look, Hinek's my friend, and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms? No. More like hares or other game.
So Hinek is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and there is now another optional objective to find Reeky's stash. And this is what I was looking for earlier. And it's Adela that tells you about it. So we're going to head back over. Make sure you have a spade in your inventory. And now you have an option to start digging here. Now you want to make sure that there's nobody watching you when you do this. Okay, you get 115 groschen and a sturdy gambeson. Now, you know, one thing I've never tried is he told her that she could take half the money and go. I've never tried actually going back and talking to her and see if there's an option to give her half of this money. I'm gonna go try that. I just got to thinking about it a little bit ago when I was listening to her conversation.
Yeah.
I just want to ask about Hinek.
What do you want to know?
Another thing about the money.
What is it?
Okay, nope. No options. We have a couple other
Is it
speech
true?
options here, which
What?
I'll just go
Other
through.
whores wouldn't.
The other bathhouse.
So you only felt sorry for him?
Both of us are the black
There's nothing more between.
No, nothing.
I found out that Hinek goes poaching in the woods and he's got a hideout there. What do you know about it? Don't worry. Hinek has much bigger problems than being caught poaching. And you're not involved in it anyway, are you?
No, I'm not. It's true he used to go hunting in the woods sometimes. When he came back, he'd usually come to me. That's all.
How did you know he'd been to the woods?
He always talked about what he caught, and he never came to me at other times. Probably didn't have the money for it.
Do you know who he sold it to?
He never told me straight up. But who could he sell it to? The innkeeper, I reckon. It makes sense.
For sure. Do you know what route he took? At least the general direction. Anything that could help me find his hideout.
I think he usually went through the woodcutter's camp, because he always brought me freshly chopped firewood, and he had wood chips on his boots.
Good. So at least I know where to start.
Okay.
May the Lord watch over you.
So now we can ask at the woodcutter's camp. And I'm showing you all of the steps here. You don't have to go through all of these. You can skip all of these and go directly to the camp if you want. But we can ask at the woodcutter's camp here. So we're going to head out north. And we're going to cross the stream here and head around the woods to get over to the woodcutter's camp. And I think you can... Actually, I'll just go straight north past the fork, because I think this thing curves this way, and then I can go cross-country a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's ride over to the woodcutter's camp, and we'll see if we can get a location here. Now getting out of this thing is going to be fun. They put walls on the sides of those creek beds, and it makes it really hard to get out of them when you're on a horse. Okay, so yeah, here's the road.
Yeah.
It's going to curve around to the right. And we're going to
This won't take long.
letter C on the map.
Yeah.
Gotta get down to the other road. See if I can cross here. Can. There's the woodcutter's camp. Here's Raspberry. You can see why he's called Raspberry.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'm looking for Hinek, the courier's son.
Reeky. Aye, he shows up here sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm trying to find him.
Good luck, then.
What do you mean?
Reeky is like some bloody hedgehog, always creeping around in the woods. And just as prickly.
So you see him there often?
More like we don't see him.
Has he been here recently?
A few days ago. He came by in the evening, well into his cups. He might have fallen somewhere and broken his neck for all I know.
So he went into the woods?
Aye, like always.
How do you know him?
We worked together building a mill by Yanovitz, and then he vanished. A year later I came here to work, and lo and behold, there's Reeky.
Do you know what he gets up to in the woods?
What do you reckon? Making money. It's no secret he goes poaching.
You're speaking as if that's perfectly legal.
No, that's not allowed. I know. I mean, I think he might be poaching. But maybe he's gathering firewood. No way for me to know, right?
Firewood, of course. I hear Reeky has a hideout in the woods somewhere. Do you know where it is?
Aye, I think I was there once.
You think? What does that mean? Either you were there or you weren't.
Well, once me and Hinek had a bit of a drink together here, and we ran out of ale. Hinek said he had some stashed away in the woods, so off we went.
But do you remember anything about it? The direction or which path you took?
Aye, I can tell you exactly. We went from the edge of the camp here along the path down to the creek. A little upstream, there's a fallen tree bridging the water. We went across it to the other side, then we went uphill to a big boulder. You have to listen carefully there.
Why?
There's a spring nearby. Someone put a kind of little mill wheel on the stream below it. You can hear it going clap, clap, clap all day and night.
Uh-huh.
Once you find it, you go around the spring and nearby you'll see a clearing. That's where Hinek's hideout is. It's an old mine gallery or cave. Good luck to you.
Okay, so now we have some fairly specific directions. My nourishment, I'll get it up here by eating at the pot. So we need to head down toward the stream, he said. Okay, so go down the stream until you see a fallen tree trunk lying across it. No, it's upstream, not downstream. So there's the fallen trunk. And go uphill until you reach a big boulder. And now if you have your sound turned up, you'll be able to hear the clap, clap, clap. Can you hear it? Okay, and this is the clearing. Now you need to look around for the cave. And here it is. So I'm going to drop a save before I go in. You don't have to. There's nothing special about this. But again, you need to do all of this within that 3-day timeline. So if you don't have a guide or you're not following along, it might take you a while to figure out all of these steps. Because otherwise, you'll get in here and Reeky will have a mortal wound. He'll be dying, and the bandits will be there, and you won't get any information from him, but you'll gather information from the bodies of the bandits after you kill them. Otherwise, if you get here on time, in the middle of this conversation, the bandits are going to show up, and you'll have to fight them. Okay, so either way, it's easier to kill them in their camp, like I did.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you've no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
I come here in the name of Sir Radzig Kabila and Sir Hanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the raid on the Neuhoff stud farm.
Got no idea what you're on about.
Save your breath. If you want any chance to escape the gallows, you better come clean, all right?
Jesus Christ. This will never be over.
So?
Fine then.
That Neuhoff raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there, mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhoff. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
I think it's kind of cool that they took the dialogue here and they've added an echo in it and muted it down so it actually sounds like they're in a cave.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pava. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us. Plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhoff, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your 2 gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. Hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhoff.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Who is this Runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before, but he's massive and scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat, and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sods pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. I knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them, and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid, they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanish will want to hear what you've got to say.
Don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
Okay, so the quest is finished, and how you complete this is completely up to you. You can either take him to Rattay. It's going to lead to a conversation where he's probably going to get hung when he gets back to Rattay. You can execute him here now, or you can let him go. Now, I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let all of the members of their gang go, if I can. This one doesn't really matter, but there is one member here that you have to treat a little differently if you want a more favorable outcome in a DLC that we're going to be dealing with later on. So I would take him to Rattay. You will actually lose a little bit of reputation if you take him to Rattay.
It might be best if you disappeared. You're no use to me anymore anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll remember this till the day I die.
Best just try living honestly.
I'll do my best. I promise.
And you'll gain a little reputation if you let him go, which we did. You can pick some cave mushrooms in here. Cave mushrooms are part of an alchemy recipe that you can get. The other two caves, or mine shafts that were marked here, also have cave mushrooms in them. So if you're looking for some, this is a quest where you can get them. But you want to get them before you come to this location, because the other two locations disappear off the map once you've finished the quest. So this is going to start My Friend Timmy. Now, My Friend Timmy is not timed. So we're going to, and it's going to learn, or you're going to learn about the village of Privoslavets, which is part of the From the Ashes DLC. So we want to kind of do some other things, since we're no longer timed. We can do some other things before we head off to deal with Privoslavets and the main quest line. And one of those things actually is right here. And let's see if I can pick this cave mushroom. There's another one right here in Ladeshko. Where'd they go? Okay, so they went way down there. And we'll put our bow away. So we're going southwest through this, or we can just go north and take the road around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we want to take the road as it forks to the left and head south with it.
Yeah.
And there's Ladeshko in front of us. And we're going to start an activity. Now, activities are repeatable events that you can do. Like gambling and things like that. This is one of them that's a little bit more special. I told you we were going back down here. And I've never looked at this, to be honest, beforehand. So my bow skill is at 16 XP right now. I'm going to talk to Vatsik here.
Good day to you.
I noticed the targets. Are you an archer by any chance?
I notice you're asking questions. Are you the Inquisition by any chance?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that was
Henry,
funny.
of Scalets.
From Scalets? I'm Vatsik, from here. Why are you so curious about the targets?
It's just that I sometimes try my hand at archery too.
Try your hand, do you? I know plenty who do. When you can score as high as me at Chumps, then I might be impressed.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Never played Chumps? And you call yourself an archer? All right, Henry, listen up. Chumps is a game for real archers. It tests your strength, stamina, and accuracy. And it can be a nice little earner. unless you're, well, a chump.
So what exactly is it?
I'll tell you. A bunch of logs are floated down the river. Then you count to 20, and the archers run along the banks after the logs. At the end of the course, someone collects all the logs and counts the strikes. Whoever has the most, always meaning me, wins the bout. Each archer has 20 arrows with their own coloured fletching, and the contest ends when the last log floats through the finish line.
Sounds like good fun.
Fun? My friend, it will bring you out in a proper sweat, and you'll be well pleased to hit just 1 or 2 blocks. So how about it then? Fancy a bout? You'll need your own bow, but I'll supply the arrows with coloured fletching.
Absolutely.
Come on then. Ah, one more chump. Excellent. Now you have to bet at least 10 groschen, 50 at most. There'll be 3 archers competing at the time. The winner gets triple his wager, and the second gets his coin back. So how much will you bet?
No half measures. What's there to save for, anyway?
That's the betting over with. Now here are your arrows. May the Lord watch over you.
Okay, so I want to make sure that my tournament arrows are equipped, and they are. So now you need to run down here to the shore, and you're going to find logs. The goal here...
Bloody hell, the wind took it.
...is to hit 16.
Oh, well, I won't miss the next one.
Okay, so I'm already getting to a point where, and that was too high. So the first part here is all about just getting the range out. And normally if you're just to the right of the log with your bow point, then you're going to hit it.
Another on target. Hit home.
That's too high. So now I have to hit all the rest of them. And I missed. Oh no, I did hit it.
Ah, well, I won't miss the next one.
Almost had it.
And I missed. And they'll get closer as you get down here. So you have to start aiming downward a little bit below, or else you'll be shooting over the top of them.
Another on target.
Oh, well, I won't miss the next one.
Too high. They're a lot closer right now. Now you're having to aim a little low.
Got it.
Okay. So I hit 10. So exactly half. Not the best performance in my life.
Got it.
Time's up, folks.
But you can wait until you're all the way down here and just shoot all your arrows down here if you have a fast shooting bow. Okay, and then you can talk to him.
So, how did it go?
Well done, Henry. You've come first. It looks like you really do know what you're doing with a bow. You're still not up to my standard, mind you, but a pretty good effort. Here are your winnings. I hope you'll wager them on some chumps again.
Okay, so I want to end the dialogue here, and I want to check and see what my bow XP is. It's 84. So I got 48 XP for playing chumps. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again.
I'd like to try chumps one more time.
Of course. Ah, so how much?
No half.
That's the betting. Good luck to you. I'll see you in the
Okay, so I'm actually going to wait a little bit
Let's see you beat that.
until the logs get down here. So I'm closer. And I should be able to still make all of them, all of my shots down here. Because he's a ways down there. Like I say, I'm just going to wait for the logs to get a little closer. Down here. I don't really care about the score, I just want to hit 16. That's the goal. So I'll just make it a little easier on myself. Alright, I'm gonna shoot at this middle 3 here.
I've got
There's
this.
one.
Easy.
That was short. Oh, why didn't that one hit? Oh, come on. Okay, I don't know why that's not. Yeah, I don't know why those aren't hitting.
Let's see you beat.
Alright, so it's not really gonna matter. That's too high.
Almost had it.
Another on top.
Damn, missed.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to start farther back. I'll try it one more time.
So, how did it go?
Well done, Henry. You've got...
I'd like to try chumps one more time.
Of course.
And I am gonna have to start
one more
shooting
chump.
farther down
So
the
how much
river.
will you bet?
No half measures.
That's the betting over. Take care now.
That's short. Oh no, it hit.
Hit home.
Damn, missed.
That was long.
Ha! Let's see you beat that. Bloody hell, the wind took it.
Bloody hell, the wind took it.
Hit home.
Damn, missed.
Hit home.
Bloody hell, the wind took it.
Damn, missed.
That was long, I think. Oh, come on.
Another on time.
There we go. Perfect.
Hit.
And these guys will actually shoot you. So if you stand in front of them, they'll actually shoot at you and hurt you. And if
Hit
you
home.
hit them, then the game will end. So you need to be careful because they'll want to run right in front of you.
Hit home.
Time's up, folks. One last arrow and that's it.
Hit.
So, how did it go?
Well, it would seem you hit more than I ever have, which means I take my cap off to you, Henry. You're the finest archer I know. Here are your winnings, and stop by here again sometime. I have something you might be interested in.
Okay, so we're not going to pick the, you said you have something for me yet.
I'll be with you.
Because I want to look. So our bow, we're now at level 7, and we're 49 current XP.
You said if I came by, you'd have something for me.
So I did, didn't I? You've impressed me, Henry. I haven't seen such excellent bowmanship in quite a while.
Thank you.
In my younger days, I learned a certain trick. Then I fell in a ditch once, drunk, and injured my hand, so I can't do it anymore. But I can teach you the knack of it, if you like.
Really? Well, I'm certainly not going to say no.
God be with you.
Okay, so now I want to look. We're at 219, so he gave us 170 XP. That's why you want to hit at least 16. Now, if you hit 16 again, he's not going to award you with more bow XP. That's a one-time thing that you get for beating him that one time. But it is a great way to get your bow skill up. And I'm actually going to do it one more time, because if I get 48 more, that's going to get me to level 8 bow, and that's going to get me another perk point.
I'd like to try...
Of course. Ah, so how much?
No half measure.
That's the betting. May the Lord watch over.
Almost had it.
Hit home.
Got it.
You've no chance against me, amateurs.
Hit home.
Ha! Let's see you beat that.
Hit home.
Hmm? That's too long.
Another on target.
Oh, well, I won't miss the next one.
Got it.
Another on target. Almost had it.
Got it.
Hit home.
Damn.
Not talking much while I'm trying to concentrate here. Sorry.
Bloody hell, the wind took it. Got it.
Too high.
Another on target.
Okay, and I got 16 again, and you'll be able to see that there's not going to be any additional XP from them.
Hit home. Hit home.
Time's up, folks. One last arrow, and that's it.
Another on target.
Okay, so let's talk to him again.
So, how did it go?
Well done, Henry. You've come first. It looks like you...
And there we go.
God be with you.
Actually, I don't... Yeah, we don't get a perk for that. Because Bo doesn't have perk points. All it does is lets me drain less stamina while I'm doing it, and I'm more accurate with it. So, yeah, but you can see, you get a lot of XP from playing Chumps, so Chumps is a great way to up your bow XP. Just come back here on a regular basis, you'll be good to go. So, we want to head back to Rattay. And like I say, this is going to keep down here under activities. It's going to show up as a repeatable thing. Just like do me a favor, punch me. You can up your unarmed by going and fighting with Milan again every time. So it's going to start opening up things like this that are going to help you up your skills. And that's what I mentioned in the description of this, is we're going to spend a little time upping our skills, but it's not very fun to go through and just do this over and over. So what we're going to do is head back to Rattay. And there's going to be a ambush point. Looks like we passed it. Okay, and there's a vagabond up here. It's my nutrition. 69, I'm fine. There's a vagabond in here.
Hey, you. A word in your ear.
Here you go.
Good day to you.
What are you hanging around for? Don't you have any work to do?
No, I don't. Sigismund's marauders took everything I had and reduced me to beggary.
What's it about?
Since I lost everything, I've been doing whatever I could to survive. Only I got caught with my hand in someone else's pocket. And since then, I can't even set foot on the square without the catchpoles pouncing on me.
So you're a pickpocket? All right, get to the point. But keep your hands where I can see them.
My honestly begged groschen were taken from me by that bastard of a guard, Pazdera. He claimed I stole them and took them for himself, the swine. Well, if you can get them from his pocket back into mine, where they rightfully belong, I'll give you a share and teach you a handy trick too. What do you say?
All right, I reckon I can manage that. How much coin are we talking about?
Everything he has on him. Half is yours.
It all sounds a bit fishy.
Well, take it or leave it. But if you get my money back from Pazdera the guard, I'm sure I can put some more work your way.
Okay, now you can pay him here, but that's no fun.
May the Lord watch over you.
So this is now going to give us the rob the rich, give to the poor quest. Okay, and we need to find Pazdera the guard.
Be merciful. What am I to do? A poor wretch whose home was burned
That's not him. Let's look at... Okay, so he's not showing it. I think he's normally up at the outside gate, but let me make sure. I think he's normally at the east gate. There's a bunch of guards roaming. It's getting late in the day, so he might be roaming. So that's why I'm checking. That's Sir Hanish, but I think he's normally up here. I think it's him. Nope, it's not. Okay, so there he is. He's now back all the way down there.
Yeah. They went well.
Okay, so he's just around the corner. That's him. Now, the best way to do this is to try and pickpocket him when he's asleep. And this is why I wanted to make sure I came here when it was getting to nightfall. Because you can follow him around and you can wait for him to go to sleep. Or since you now have a quest marker that knows where he is, you can wait an hour at a time. And we need to put our torch on. Okay, so I think he's already gone to sleep. Oh. Whoops. Yeah, I think he's inside here. So we're going to try and get in here. We're going to cut the torch off, or we're going to save first. We're going to cut the torch off. Lockpick the door. See if he's asleep. Can't see anything. Okay, so that's not him. He might be in the house next door instead. He might be in this house. Okay, I think that's him. Nope, it's Nightingale. There he is. So I'm going to pickpocket. Okay. Put my torch back on. And now we're good. So now we'll head back to the Vagabond. You can talk to him at any time, even if it's in the middle of the night. You just have to find him. A lot of times he'll be asleep here in the middle. But most of the time he'll be down here somewhere. There he is.
Why are you waking me? Go away.
Okay, well you normally used to be.
Me, I wanna
I know I've
sleep.
talked to him at night. I know I have. Okay, fine, I'll wait. Actually, I probably need to go to the inn here. Or I could just fast travel out to my bed. I'd have to pay for it. I don't know why I can't talk to him at night. I know I've been able to do that. I don't think I have any books that I need to read. I don't think I can read the 3rd level of St. Nicholas yet. Or the 4th level of Marathon. Oh yeah, I think that's it. Let's, can we use Capon's bow? We can. It's a 54 power. Villager's U-bow's 47, so I'm going to change over to that, but let's see if we can use the... I think this one's 10. That's 15 strength and 10 agility. I don't have 15 strength. So we're going to change over to Capon's bow. Now that we can use it. And we'll put the Villager's U-bow away. Okay. Get our energy back up. We'll be able to eat from the pot out here, hopefully. If not, we've got 3 other pots right next to us, so won't be a big deal. And it's always safer to knock people out, and then you can loot them instead of pickpocketing, but guards will fight back. And if you fail at the pickpocketing, then you've got a problem on your hands, so... Let me get Peshek up here, because we had a couple of things we need to sell in our inventory.
Good health to you.
I've got some good...
All right. Let me with you.
And we're just going to close the deal on that. I don't need to haggle for that. Oh, let's see if he's back. He is. Actually, no.
Look what I've got for you. You'll love them.
Okay, and we'll give him some praise.
There's the good doggy. That's my boy.
Okay, yeah, I don't think he actually ran off. I think that was a mistake in the game. I don't think he ran off because his obedience is up to 94 again, so...
Yeah.
We'll head back up, talk to the vagabond again, and he should have more work for us. But I don't mind pickpocketing if it's easy for me to do, and if somebody's sleeping, it's easy. I think that's him right there.
God be with you, good sir.
I've got your coin.
I'd like to see that bastard's face when he finds out it's gone. I'll give you some of the groschen back, like I promised. And I've got another job for you.
What's this other job, then?
Everywhere you go here, you'll see wretches like me. Poor souls that don't have a pot to piss in and have to beg. Then take a look in Rattay at all the gentlefolk with their noses in the air, looking out only for themselves, with not a moment's thought for the poor. Well, from one fine lady, you could get alms to feed the whole lot of us here.
Alms for everyone? That would be quite a purse. But I'll see what I can do.
That's the spirit. In return, I'll teach you something useful, and you'll get a share too, of course.
Hey, again, you can pay him if you'd like.
I'll be with you.
We're not going to do that. Now, if we look at our quest journal again... Okay, she's actually out here on a road. That's a bad spot. We're going to have to pass time. We want her to be in her house. Okay. 'Cause we're not going to be able to steal from her on the road.
Yeah.
Too many people out here. That's her, right there. Yeah, there's too many people out here. Well, maybe not.
You men are likely. Keep your paws to your...
Too hard to pickpocket her while she's moving.
Guard! Come here,
Okay.
quick. There's a thief over there! Help! Arrest that thief! I see a thief!
So I'll just pay a fine here. Do I have anything that's really stolen on me? No. So I'll just pay the fine. He's gonna go up here and talk to the guards at the gate.
Hey, who's there? What's going on? Who are you? Hey, you! Don't move a muscle.
Surrender. You're under... Someone saw you stealing. You should have thought twice about what you were doing. That will land you a fat fine.
Hey, I'm not gonna be able to... you can see his stats down there.
Oh well, what can I do?
It's only 60
Here you are.
groschen, though.
You've purged yourself before the law, but I'll be keeping an eye on you. You can be sure of that. And since I trust you as much as I trust, well, a thief, I'll just search you to be on the safe side. Better hand over the loot now.
Okay. So that's kind of the experience of what happens when you get caught. All of the guards are going to come running. You have to surrender to them. If you don't, they'll actually start attacking you. And did she go inside? Yes, she did. Because where we wanted her to go anyway.
I could die of shame.
There she is. She is going to head back to her house. And she normally sits inside of her house and sews during the day. This is her, I think. Yeah. So she went and picked up her bucket again. Because I can't remember honestly what time she actually goes back to her house. She's going down to the river to pick up some water. So now she's making her way back. Okay, so now she's in her house. And I think it's this one here. Yeah. Okay. Now she's cooking right now. But you want to kind of watch, and she'll go into the room over there and she'll sit down. Yep. I don't think I can sneak in there while she's eating. I need her sitting down at that chair right there. Like I say, I don't think I can sneak in on her while she's eating. But you can also watch here through the window, and there's the chair right there that she's going to be sitting in. I'm just going to wait for her to finish eating. There she is. And see if she'll go over and sit down in that chair and start sewing. And when she does, that's the perfect time to pickpocket her. She's not moving. She stays there for a while to do it. And her back is to the door.
What in the...
She saw me. Okay. There she is. She'll be out here sweeping up. Let me see if I can get her to sit down in there and start sewing. I think it's somewhere around the end of the evening that she goes in there and does that. Okay. The first time I've ever seen a guard in there. No, I'm good. Thank you. Go away, please. I don't want that lady sitting there staring through the window. Right where I'm trying to pickpocket. Okay, so there she is. And there's that lady just looking right through the window. What is her deal? Come on. What are you doing?
Huh.
Get out of here.
God be with you.
What kind of God?
Son.
What's like?
This.
Have you?
God bless.
Leave, please. Oh, you're kidding me. Did she just decide to stop?
God.
Come on. Because I can't pickpocket her with this, with her looking right at me. You're kidding me. Oh boy, that's classic.
Hey.
Because that's her.
Can I help?
She got up and left. I had the perfect opportunity to do it, and for some reason she decided to sit outside the window and peeping Tom this place. Oh, wow, okay. That's crazy. I've never seen this happen before. Please don't get stuck on the stairs. Okay, thank you. I've never seen this happen before. I've never seen the guard in there, and I've never seen her stop there before. Let me try one more time. She's still there. Okay, now she's gone. How about we save first? She's not there. Okay, and there's somebody outside looking at me through that same stupid window again. Okay, well at least he was looking the other way. He might be upstairs. Oh no, she's out and about. So it looks like I was planning to do this while I was sewing. I'm probably just gonna have to wait until she's asleep. I was doing previously. I've just never had that bad of luck with her. That was kind of crazy. People just camping out in front of her window. I'm going to get this done today. We're almost done with the live stream, but I'm going to get this done today. Okay, she's making her way back. Okay. So she's now gone to sleep. I'm going to have to pick my way in here. Shouldn't be a big deal, though. I can't remember if she's upstairs or in this back room. I hope she's not in there, because I can't see anything. Okay, there she is. Okay, now I can knock her out here, but I'm going to try and pickpocket. Okay, so I didn't find the ring. Oh, I'm stealing gold from her, not the ring. I found the gold. Okay. I saw the gold, but I was thinking we were looking to steal a ring, and we weren't. The ring is the next one that we're going to have to do. Okay, so while we're here, I'm going to see if my lockpicking skill is high enough to get in here. Still not. Okay, so we'll take a seat. We'll go turn this in. And then we'll get the next quest from it, and that will be the end of the live stream. Because in the next one, I think we have to. This is where we have to steal Pruda's ring. And let's go. Mutt here.
Look what you're good boy. That's
Okay, so we up the Houndmaster skill as well. like crazy. Alright, so we'll head up here, and she still hasn't picked up her bucket from the middle of the road. And find the vagabond. There he is.
Good day to you.
Here's your groschen.
Good. Keep aft for your effort. Interested in another job?
You mentioned another job. I'm all ears.
Aye. There's a good widow living in squalor with us in the camp. She sold the last memento she had of her sainted mother to a moneylender so she could feed her young ones. And now she's so torn with regret, she can't sleep nights.
You want me to get this memento back?
Just so. I'd do it myself, only I can't show my face on the town square without the catchpoles kicking my arse. Steal her ring back from that usurer, Wolf from Bruda. You can pick your own reward while you're at it. He's so rich it ain't decent.
I'll be right back.
Take care now.
Okay, so now here's where we have to steal Wolfram Pruda's ring. And we'll go through this more in his patterns and that sort of stuff next week. There's no point in stealing anything else from him because the groschen, he's only got like 20 groschen or something, so he's not really that rich. But either way, that gives us a good point to end the live stream today. We'll pick back up here next week. So, as always, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all showing up and supporting the channel, especially my channel members. Thank you very much for that. I certainly do appreciate it. As always, thank you for that support, because I say without it, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.